Evangelist Samuel Hernandez of Brazil. 4 Reasons for Hell. God bless everyone who is listening to, reading, this testimony. I come here to share with you an uplifting experience that God has given in my life so that you understand that the gospel is something serious that we need to know how to live on earth in order to enjoy in heaven. Let's read Revelation 20:10-15. And the devil, who is leading them astray, was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where are the beast and the false prophet, and they shall be tormented day and night, to the ages of the ages. 11 And I saw a great white throne, and him who is sitting upon it, from whose face the earth and the heaven did flee away, and place was not found for them. 12 And I saw the dead, small and great, standing before God, and scrolls were opened, and another scroll was opened, which is that of the life, and the dead were judged out of the things written in the scrolls, according to their works. 13 And the sea did give up those dead in it, and the death and the Hades did give up the dead in them, and they were judged, each one according to their works. 14 And the death and the Hades were cast to the lake of the fire. This is the second death. 15 And if anyone was not found written in the scroll of the life, he was cast to the lake of the fire. What I will reveal through my experience may change your life because it changed mine. It made me live differently and think differently regarding the hidden mysteries of the Lord. The term that I will expose to the listeners is the sad reality of hell is what people ignore and what many think in a controversial way, and it is what many debates. We hear people say that hell is here on earth, and others say in a joking way, hell is my home. We cannot compare any place on earth with hell. The sad reality of this place is horrendous. This is more real than you. I myself, being the one born in the gospel, had a wrong concept of what hell is despite having received the word. I had a wrong concept of this place, but by God's great mercy, the Lord showed me the sad reality of this place. We cannot understand hell because the word has to be discerned spiritually. We have to understand the Bible spiritually. The person who cannot understand the truth is because his mind is blind. The Bible says in 2 Corinthians 4:4, in whom the God of this world has blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Christ, who is the image of God, should shine to them. You can ask why and for what hell exists. When the Lord brought me to life after I saw this sad place that condemned people, the Lord spoke to me clearly about the things that are in this place. Souls enter this place automatically amid torment if they do not accept the truth. The Lord revealed 4 principles to me. The reason for hell. First reason for hell is that it is a place of punishment. Matthew 25:31-42 But when the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the angels with him, then shall he sit on the throne of his glory. 32 And before him shall be gathered all the nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as the shepherd separateth the sheep from the goats. 33 And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left. 34 Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, Come, ye blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. 41 Then shall he say also unto them on the left hand, Depart from me, ye cursed, into the eternal fire which is prepared for the devil and his angels. The second principle is that hell is a place of regrets. Each of the souls who are there remembers everything they have committed on earth. Third, it is a place of unanswered prayers. Any prayer made by your family who is on earth after your death cannot change your state in the spiritual world. If a man lives in sin and when he dies, he should not think that God is going to take him out of hell for grieving God. Everyone who is guilty before the Lord will be tormented because that is in the Bible. Fourth principle, hell is a place of eternal separation. Separation because he will be eternally separated from the presence of heaven. There is a great abyss between heaven and hell. This abyss is symbolic, and this abyss represents sin, and it never will let the sinful man enter heaven. He will be separated from God forever. I had a very wrong concept about this place. God had spoken to my life. 3 times God had ministered my life so that I would go on 25 days of fasting. I did not feel prepared because I never had 25 days of fasting. The first time that God spoke to me was through a man of God used by God. He didn't know me. He knew I was in this church because God had revealed to him. He called me and said, You, young man, are ignorant. The Lord wants to talk to you tonight. God is calling you to fast for 25 days. You are not to eat food nor drink liquid because he will minister to your life. He will reveal something wonderful. You have to do the fasting. I got confused all over. I have not done 25 days of fasting. I had never been through this. I was worried. I talked to the pastor. I have never fasted like this. I have endured 2 days or 3 days accompanying some brothers but never 25 days. The pastor told me, God will help you in some ways if he is calling you to do it. When he told me that, I started fasting. In many ways, the Lord dealt with my life. He sent a prophet and a servant to tell me, but I did not want to. But one night the Lord called me with a powerful voice and told me, "Fool, obey me." When I heard that voice of God, I humbled myself to obey the word. I prepared for these days to decide to go on these fasts. God prepared everything for a big room with an air conditioner for me to pray. God touched my pastor and the pastor said I can do my fast there. I feel that this fast is from God. I give glory to him although I didn't feel prepared. I was worried. I was full of fear and the Lord was preparing everything. My mother came to talk to me about this fast. She told me, "You are going to do this fast as it is from the Lord. I had a dream that you are full of blessings. After that, the Lord will reveal great things for your life." There were doubts in my conscience and there was no answer. I had these doubts for a long time in my heart. It scared me to say this. These doubts confused me. The pastor told me, God had prepared his mercy for your life and had prepared this day. I prepared my body and my life. The pastor handed me the key and I entered that enclosure. The first night already the Lord told me, when you enter the room, do not talk to anyone nor your mother. If she comes desperate calling to see you, you will close the door to this place. I will be with you every day. Do not open to anyone. I remember I entered this place. I kept the key in my pocket. I took my Bible. I took my books. When I came there, I closed the door and prayed to the Lord. On the first day and on the second day my mind went round and spinning. I thought, how is this going to be? How am I going to start? What am I going to say? What is the purpose for me? The days 4, 5, 6 and 7 were terrible battles. Days were demonic battles. The devil gave me pain in the leg. It gave me pain in the stomach. I said, I believe I will not be able to continue. But from the first day that I entered, God started to reveal to me all the verses in the Bible that spoke of hell. Every kind of verse that revealed the reason for hell, and those texts hammered in my mind, and I thought because every time the Lord opened the Bible, the whole text reveals hell. I started saying, Lord, what do you want to tell me? I'm worried about what you are revealing to me. On the 7th day, I broke out in a cold sweat. I felt so bad. I told the Lord, Lord, today I'm to get a verse from the Bible that gives me a sign that tells me that I have to give the brothers. Man's mind is very astute. Since I knew the Old Testament almost does not speak of hell, I told the Lord, I'm going to open the Bible there in some part of this text. You have to talk to me. And I closed my eyes and opened the Bible in Book of Numbers exactly where it says Korah led a revolt against Moses. He died, along with all his co-conspirators, when God caused the earth to open her mouth and swallow him and all that appertained to them. Numbers 16:31-33. When I read that, I started to imagine the people living in flesh and the body falling in hell. I couldn't imagine because I had already read Mark 9:43, and if your hand offend you, cut it off. It is better for you to enter into life maimed, than having 2 hands to go into hell, into the fire that never shall be quenched. All these situations came back in my mind and I said, God, how terrible it must be for these people to fall alive in torment. This is a tremendous tragedy. On the 7th the Lord raised me from the floor. I was leaning and crying and said, Lord, if I am going to finish this fast here dead, I will finish. Okay, you want me not to go out on the night of this day. I was sleeping and suddenly I was feeling a tremor in my body. I started to have this vision. I don't know if I was awake. I don't know if I was sleeping. A bright light stronger than any light on earth, a light that blinded me, was in there. Suddenly inside that great light, I started to see a character was suspended in the air about 60 centimeters from the floor and his hands were open. When I saw this I said, who is this person? I understood that he was an angel. I said, an angel of the Lord. The Lord brought me here to show me an angel. When the light went out I saw a very beautiful angel. I had never seen the face of a precious angel. His hair was like gold and that angel looked at me with such tenderness. His eyes were blue. The face was so beautiful and so clean. He looked at me with tenderness and smiled. He had a gold belt that crossed his chest, and a gold belt around his waist had a sword kept in its scabbard. The sword glowed and looked as if he had taken it out of the fire in an oven. He had a sandal that shone like gold, and his feet looked like fire and came out like fire. He was in the air. He was slowly lowering until he approached me and said, "Samuel." When he called me by my name, it haunted me. He said, "I was sent to you." Suddenly in his left hand, there was a golden cup, and in his right hand, a golden spoon, and he said, "Open your mouth. I have to give this to you." He put the spoon in the glass and got a liquid that looks like juice. I opened my mouth and he gave me the first spoonful. The taste was like honey, and the angel said, "2 more." He gave me 2 more spoonfuls. I took the 3 spoonfuls. I was going to ask him to give me some more. The angel disappeared before me. I realized I was in the room and I said, "Lord, you send an angel." I started to cry and give glory to the Lord and said to the Lord, "This is one of the angels you brought me here. You sent an angel to strengthen me. I give you the glory." So every day from the 8th day, it was the days of surrender. I cried like I never before. I humiliated myself as a boy. It seemed that I flew in the air. I cried and prayed there. I did not stop praying. I realized that the hours passed and I kept praying and praying. That liquid from heaven imparted to my life a desire to surrender. I interceded for the world and prayed for many people that came to my mind and their many difficulties. Glory is the name of the Lord. After 3 days at 11 a.m. in morning, I got up weird. I felt a weird feeling that something is going to happen this day. I felt worried and walked around that room and said, "Something is going to happen." That waiting for what is going to happen came at noon. I knelt and I started to feel something strange. I started to feel cold on my feet. That cold suddenly passed and disappeared, and I said, "What is it, Lord?" Immediately I brought my face to the ground, and in a vision, I started to see myself when I was 3 or 4 years old playing at home with my brother. I saw myself growing up, and soon I saw I was a teenager with my school friends. I saw myself walking through the city streets, when I went to school, when I went to Sunday school, when I went teen class, and the youth class. All those phases were passing. The time came when I was 14 years old. I went to live outside my home in the city of an aunt. I had already left the Lord. I walked with my friends to secular places. My life was degraded. I started to know the things of the world, and I found myself in this phase. At that time when I left home, I started to live apart from God. That phase passed through my life, and I came when all these phases passed until when I became a son of God. I cried when I opened my eyes and remember those tremendous and difficult moments of misery when I was addicted to drinks and drugs. Those moments of vanities impressed my mind. I said, "Lord, you are reminding me of every moment of my past life." I looked at the clock. It was already 5 in the afternoon, and I went to kneel on top of an armchair, and my feet started to hurt and my bones trembled. I found myself standing on a walkway. I wanted to take my life that day. Christ from heaven called me back to the gospel. I gave my life again in his arms. I saw when the Lord set me free. The day I was standing in that place, I didn't know what was happening in the spiritual world, but the Lord was still warning me. The Lord revealed to me, while you were standing there was a group of angels fighting for you. I saw an immense demon coming out of my body. That demon kept me addicted to drinks and to drugs, and on that day he was gone from my life because I gave my soul to Christ. On that day I reconciled with my Lord. When God changed my life on this day, the Lord was there with me and I didn't know. When I woke up, I started to cry. I said, "When I gave myself up, I believed I was just there, but you were with me. You were looking at me and I didn't know you. The Lord were close to me. The Lord extended his hands, so I was listening to his voice when he told me, 'I did it because I love you.'" The moment I saw that vision, I suddenly came back to my body. That cold was slowly rising to my waist. It was a strange feeling because I felt the pain in my feet and in my knees. Suddenly I felt that my heart was accelerating. My heart accelerated strongly. Then my heartbeat started to decrease. I leaned on the couch. I put my face on my right hand. My hand left stretched down and the cold reached my neck, and I heard the last beat of my heart. When it gave my last beat, I heard a boom in my ear. I said it happened to me because I felt that my heart was not beating anymore. Suddenly I tried to speak. I remembered the brother who took care of the church. When I wanted to call him, my tongue stuck to the palate. I couldn't open my mouth for it was stuck. I said it happened to me. Something happened to me here. I don't understand why it is that the cold had chilled my whole body. I did not understand that it was the cold of death. God allowed me to taste death so that I understood that this is what death is like. At that moment I saw everything. I was suddenly inert. I started to hear, Samuel Hernandez. A man was leaning there. I heard horses trotting in the air. They left the bottom of the earth. Those neighing horses came at a great speed. For a moment I thought it was someone watching television, but I said it could not be because they were coming through the air. I suddenly looked under the door of the enclosure where I was. The horses were there in front of the door, and under the door, I saw a flame lit. A flame began to burn from the other side. When I saw that, I think it was a high fire that burned. I heard how the grass burns like a mountain that is burned with strong flames, and I said, what is going on in this fire? As it is lit I will die here burnt. What fire is going on? Please someone explain to me. I tried to scream but my mouth didn't open and the flame was on the other side, and suddenly the flame started to come in from underneath from the door. I realized it wasn't just any fire because it didn't burn the wooden door, much less smoke. I said, God, what's happening? For a moment I thought my mind was betraying me as I talked about hell so many times. Lord God, where I will go? Suddenly from the flames came a shivering voice. I felt like the walls shuddered. I felt my body shuddered. I heard a powerful voice that called my name, Samuel. When that voice called me I felt small. I felt that I was worthless. I felt insignificant. It was a powerful voice and sometimes it was a sweet voice. That voice took something tender out of my heart. I said, Lord, what happened to me? Suddenly the voice said to me, I am Jesus of Nazareth, the one who gave himself for you on the cross of Calvary. I am the sacrificed lamb. Behold, I live for the ages of the centuries. I have the keys of life and death. I have authority in heaven and on earth. Samuel, I come here to reveal to you. That is why you were brought here. I came here because I wanted to reveal to you a concept that was wrong in the heart. I will enlighten your thought in your heart while in the spiritual world. I want you to understand because I will use you as an instrument to reveal to the world and the peoples and the nations that there is a place of torment, that there is a sad reality, a place where sinful man will live in torment forever. And I said, how is it, Lord? Suddenly a force entered my body and I stood beside that fire. I felt fire as I sweated. I felt the heat but it didn't burn me. I had a fear and did not want to touch that flame. That flame was close to me. I suddenly felt the delicate hand of the Lord that touched my shoulder and told me, Samuel. The Lord passed his hand in front of me and his hand was connected to the flame. I could not see exactly his face. His face is resplendent. The figure of his hand was converted into a flame and passed in front of me and made a sign, and he said, look. And when I looked to my right I was amazed at what I saw. I never thought I would see this. I saw myself exactly where I had fallen there. I was with my face, my right hand and left hand fallen, and at this moment when I saw myself, I was scared. I said, Lord, how is it I am there? How can I see you as it happened to me because I see myself there and I see myself here? The Lord said to me this word, because that is not Samuel. Samuel is this one that is here because I died in place of your soul, and this is your soul in the spirit world. Son, I want you to understand that there is a spiritual world that ignored that soul, which is you, Samuel. I did not die for your body so that many admire that body, so that many take care of the body, so that many think and care only for the body and do not think about the soul, which is worth much to the Son. What does it profit if a man wins the whole world and loses his soul? I died for you on the cross for your soul. I did not die for your body. My Father gave an order to him and he will return to dust. When your soul has taken a place in my kingdom, I will give you a new body for your soul, a glorified body like I had when I got up from the tomb. And I said, Lord, what happened to me? The Lord told me, that is what happens when a person dies. So I got desperate and I said, no Lord, how is it that I am dead when you didn't say I was going to die? What happened, Lord? The Lord said, no, son. Have peace. He touched my shoulder and a sublime peace entered inside my heart. He told me, you will not die. Your body is not dead. I have breathed life into your body so that it does not die. Your heart keeps beating. Brothers, I don't know why man is so attached very much to this life. I don't know why man clings so much to the things of this world. I felt bad when he told me that I had died. I don't know why the beyond would cling to this body so much. Paul said, "Who will deliver me from this body of death?" I had felt bad and Jesus touched my shoulder and told me, "Peace, your body will continue living." Evangelist Samuel